Hi, well, and welcome everyone to All Things Breastfeeding. This is Barbara Robertson, your host of the podcast, and I'm joined today by my co-founder from LactaLearning, Nancy Moorbacher.
Hey, Barbara.
Hey, Nancy. Well, this is a very, very special edition of the podcast. It has been 10 years of having a podcast, and it's our 100th episode.
hmm
So
Congratulations.
welcome. Yeah. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's taken we're getting we've and it's funny because we've gotten more regular in the past few years again. And yeah, the history of the podcast, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But also we're celebrating 3 years of Lacta Learning that Nancy and
Correct.
I we co-founded.
Yes.
And so congratulations, Nancy.
And congratulations to you too, Barbara. It's been a
Thank
great
you.
3 years.
Thank you. Yeah, 3 years. It's funny because when we were talking about it, we were like, how long has it been? It seems like forever, yet a moment. Just like having babies, right?
Mhm.
It takes forever, but it's also a second.
Well, that's
Well,
why
and
it's good to
so,
mark these occasions sometimes to remind.
exactly. Well, and these days, yeah, things to celebrate are things what we should absolutely celebrate.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. First of all, let's talk about how we met.
Okay.
So we met at a conference a long time ago.
Right. It was in the mid
Um,
2010s that I
yeah,
came to speak in Ann Arbor, and you were my support person during that. I had a terrible sore throat and gradually completely lost my voice during the course of the conference. And you kept coming up and bringing me tea and lemon,
yeah.
which I greatly appreciated. It was one of the more humiliating experiences of my life, but you stood out as someone who was very supportive, and I really appreciated everything you did for me.
It was funny because, yeah, as a speaker myself, I just was like, oh, Nancy, I'm so sorry because the show must go on. And
That's
so
right.
you continued on and you actually did a great job and everything was fine. Yeah, I've been an admirer of you for a long time. But then in 2020, you released the Breastfeeding Answers second edition, which
Correct.
I had actually emailed you about a few times. It was
Mhm.
like, hey, Nancy, when's the next edition going to be out? Because I love that book so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so I reached out to you about doing a book group because I had just started doing book groups. It was the pandemic. We were
hmm
all sad and lonely.
hmm
And I reached out and you agreed to do a book group with me.
That's correct. I released the book in June of 2020. So,
Mhm.
like, right as we were all kind of trying to get used to lockdown, and our book group started in January of 2021. And I think
Yeah.
all of us were feeling extremely isolated during that
Mhm.
time.
It was a very lonely winter for all of us because we were just still not sure. The vaccine wasn't out yet. And
Mhm.
so we just were all kind of seeing people somewhat in your pod, but yeah, pretty much kind of taking it easy.
Yes.
And it was such a lovely connection
Yeah. It
for
was really
both of us.
It was really emotional for me because, I, for example, had 5 speaking engagements in different parts of the world that spring that all got canceled. And
Hmm.
so by the time January of 2021 rolled around, I had been used to lots of travel, lots of personal, in-person time with my colleagues. And so I'm sure, like many people, I was just feeling like, what's happened to my life? And
Hmm.
what are all these people that I usually are in contact with? What are they doing? And so when we started the book group, we ended up with people from all over the world who attended.
Hmm.
They had gotten copies of the book because they had to read the book to participate. And it was really, really great. I mean, it was a super emotional time because, as I say, we really weren't able to connect in person. So it was the next best thing. And it just felt so good to have that kind of regular contact with my colleagues from everywhere.
And it was so successful that actually the WIC offices, it's called the Midwest region. Nancy's part of it in Illinois, and I'm part of it in Michigan. They
Mhm.
hired us to do the book group again
Right.
over that spring and early summer.
Yeah, and for those who don't know what WIC is, if you're not from the United States, it's the low income food subsidy government program that services, women, infants, and children.
Yeah. Well, and so we really enjoyed that time together.
Mhm. Yes.
As I mentioned, I'm always a huge fan of Breastfeeding Answers and have been since it came out way back in the day.
Yeah.
But also just your handle on research and your commitment, and also the varied background that you had of working in lactation in almost every field. I mean, probably every field.
Well, and I think one of the things that drew us to one another is we do come from similar backgrounds. I mean, we
Hmm.
both started in breastfeeding as
Yeah.
Latation League leaders, volunteer peer supporters. And so some of our initial training was very much the same. And so I
Hmm.
think, we have a very similar mindset. But you're right. I mean, the Breastfeeding Answer second edition, I literally reviewed more than 4,000 studies
Yeah.
for that. It is an evidence-based book, and so that's part of my job is to understand what is the evidence around every aspect of lactation. So it really covers just about everything.
And yeah, so just so amazing. So again, been a huge fan for a long time. And after we kind of finished the book group, it was like, well, what's next? And we had had a suggestion. We had been playing around with maybe creating an online self-study group. You had made a 90-hour course for China.
Right,
I had made a 95-hour course that was in person.
right.
And we were thinking about, self-study. And one of our students made a great suggestion for us.
Right. Well, let me just say first, one of the things that really struck me when I started working with you is you have a master's in curriculum development. So your focus before you got into lactation was education.
Yeah.
I similarly was in education, but your real focus was on adult learning. And so I found that so fascinating because I'm all about how can I get information out there and how can I make it meaningful and usable, practical for
Yeah.
people. And really, that is the core of adult education.
Mhm.
So when our student, one of our book group students, what we mentioned, I think that we were considering creating an online self-study 95-hour course. She said, well, if you're really smart, you will structure it to be, the same structure as the IBCLC detailed content outline, which is what it's the summary of everything that's covered to sit for the board exam. And so you and I, we had been using the platform Thinkific, and you said, "My gosh, that would be so easy with
Yeah.
Thinkific to do that." Well, what an inspiration! So thank you to that student. I don't remember her name. I wish I
I
did,
don't remember her name
but
either.
it was a fantastic. And we're like, "Wow, that is a great idea, and we can actually do that."
Yeah. It's true that I had the confidence, like I could see it in my head,
Right,
like, aha. And I knew I wanted it to be different than
right,
what everybody else was doing. Because
right.
if you take a 95-hour course from somebody else, they
Hmm.
want you to watch 95 hours of PowerPoint.
Right. It's all lecture,
And I'm
and
just like, no.
And you knew from your experience,
Yeah,
in looking at the research in adult learning that adults do not learn best and don't retain information best from lectures, just
right.
plain lectures. So I was just amazed by this idea that we could create something, that used, this mix of learning modalities to make the process easier for people of all learning styles. And so, I got very, very excited. So the combination, of your experience with Thinkific and with the education information, and my experience with the research and the writing, I think it turned out to be a really unbeatable combination.
Well, we've enjoyed we enjoy each other's company, and I think we both have the same bottom line. We want more lactation supporters to be able to support in a compassionate, kind,
Right.
informed way.
Right. People who can be really effective with families and
Yeah.
empower them.
Yeah.
Uh, and so that's what we want. And it's great because, as we've gone through this process, there have been so many aspects of it that we've been on the same page with, right from the get-go. So that's been great.
Well, so 3 years in business now. Yeah, us, Nancy and I, along with the LactaLearning team, we
Mhm.
have something to share with you.
Yes.
We are unveiling our new look for our website
Mhm.
that introduces easier than ever access to our learning courses and all things lactation. We have a new glossary of terms because we know how confusing it can be. Not
Mhm.
everybody knows all the lingo.
Right.
Um,
Like,
clear class descriptions.
Right. If you want to know what the IBCLC detailed content outline is, for example, you can go on
We
our
have it, there's
website
a
and we have a
definition.
definition for you.
There's a definition.
We have a habit of throwing these things around.
Yeah. So yeah, these we've designed the site to help empower your lactation journey. We want to be, people's go-to when they think about lactation education and becoming a lactation consultant.
Right. So
I,
it's
yeah.
really all about, our focus is on those who are aspiring lactation consultants and
Mhm.
those who are recertifying lactation consultants.
And honestly, anyone like doulas,
Mhm.
midwives, nurses, you don't
Mhm.
have to be an IBCLC to
Mhm.
help support people. And
Right.
so we really feel like we've done a good job. Our goal is to be user friendly, to
Mhm.
make it simple,
Mhm.
make it simple for people.
Right. And our reviews have been excellent, so that's been great to see.
Right. No, people have been really enjoying that. Well, and so back to our history a little bit, so it was a great idea, and I said, "Oh, we can do this. It's going to be easy." It was easy. I mean,
It took at least 6 months to pull
it
the
took a
course
long
together.
time.
It was a lot of work.
It
Yes, we
was
did
a lot of
it
work.
carefully.
But to me, it's like once you have the idea and it's a good idea, then it's
Mhm.
executing it. And that's something else you and I share. We are like both, we get the work done. We have
We
a
have good
vision,
follow
we make
through,
it.
and that's half the
Yeah.
battle right there.
Absolutely. So in July of 2022, we not only launched our CCLS self-study course,
That was
but
our
we,
95-hour course. Yes,
yeah, but we also then launched LactaLearning as a business.
right.
And so that has been, again, we're three now. We're toddling, toddling. We're getting our feet under us for sure.
We're out
And
of the
then
toddler phase and getting into the preschool phase, huh?
exactly. I think we're already at the preschool. We're pretty advanced, Nancy.
Right.
So, we're pretty mature. And then we got nursing contact hours for many of our courses in 2024. And so
Mhm.
again, just feeling kind of grown up. And
Mhm.
we've really been, I think, very thoughtful and careful about the courses that we've been adding.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that they are going to suit people's needs,
Right.
even if you don't know that that's what you need.
Right. For example, when the IBLCE changed its rules about recertification,
Yeah,
we have not only the 75-hour course that gives you everything, but we also have our courses that are specifically targeted at those various, topic areas in the detailed content outline. Because when you take your assessment, your CE self-assessment, sometimes you're required to have,
right.
education in specific topic areas. So we make that easy
Often.
also.
Yeah. So let's take a look. Let's do
Yeah.
a little ta-da. And
Okay.
if you are listening, you're going to have to go to our website, lactalearning.com. But here it is. We kept our logo and our colors.
Mhm.
But hopefully we've made things a little more modern looking
Mhm.
and also just cleaner and
Right.
purposeful. And so you
Right.
can scroll down and do you want to become a lactation consultant? Do you need recertification? Are you a healthcare provider? Are you from public health or WIC? And so you can click that, or you can use our navigation bar and you
Right.
can find out our courses. We have a lot of resources, our blog and podcast,
Right.
articles, books, newsletter, our glossary. So just a lot of things. So yeah, let's our CCLS, our 95-hour course.
Yeah.
That's kind of our foundational course, I would say at
I
this
would say if
point.
maybe our flagship course would be a
Our
good.
flagship course. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. And yeah, it's a perfect, again, it offers a standalone credential. So if you don't want to become an IBCLC, you don't need to. This can help give you a foundation to better help your clients in whatever capacity you're serving them.
Right.
But it also fulfills that requirement of lactation specific education to become an IBCLC.
And I think one aspect of this course, which is true of our other courses as well, is it's not just trying to open up your head and pour in information.
Mm-mm.
A significant portion of our course are resources that you'll use again and again
Yeah,
as you work with families.
yeah.
So, one of the things that surprised us when we first launched this course was that the people who completed it, many of them wanted to continue to have access to it
Mhm.
as they worked with families, which
Yeah.
we have allowed up till now. We have not really set a limit yet in
Hmm.
terms of how long people can access it. So
Right.
it is a little different from other courses in that way too.
Yeah. And let's talk about the recertification because that was the next piece. Because just as we were finishing the 95-hour course,
Mhm.
IBLCE announced there were going to be major changes to the recertification.
Right.
And so we were like, okay, people are going to need help with that. And
Hmm.
keep in mind too, we do have our How to Become an IBCLC meeting, and we have our monthly How do you recertify meeting. So if you're
Right.
interested in those, you can just email Barbara at LactaLearning, and I will add you to our list.
Yeah, though both of those processes can feel very complicated.
Yeah. So you go to a recertification and you decide you want to recertify by exam, which if you do, we do have our exam prep
Hmm.
course for either aspiring IBCLCs or recertification or
Hmm.
recertifying by CERPs. And then
Hmm.
as Nancy mentioned, we have a comprehensive course that has everything you might need to recertify,
Hmm.
or you can go to a specific topic and you can pick exactly what you need. If you need 5 CERPs in development nutrition, we've got those 5 SERPs for you. Then we also have special stuff, Nancy. We have our book groups. And
Right.
so at this point in time, we have Making More Milk
Hmm.
and we have Breastfeeding Answers available as a self-study.
Hmm.
And so, keep in mind for those too, the sessions are all recorded, and so you
Right.
can just really relax, and it's great to listen to while you're
Hmm.
driving or if you're walking. So we have our book groups, and then we also are going to be announcing soon. We're going to have a one-day seminar that myself and my colleague Jessica Beamster Boyer, and she's my partner in crime. She's our tech person, right? She keeps everything running. We also have Heather, who helps us with lots and lots of different tasks. Also, very techy, and she's detail oriented. And we have Veronica, who helps with our social media. We have a really well established Facebook page and Instagram page that Veronica helps run. We have Janelle, who is our website person.
Hmm.
And we have Carrie, who's our branding person. And so, it takes a lot of people to run a business, and they've really all helped us with this. So Jessica and I are going to be offering a one-day seminar for 6.5 LSERPs called Untangling Low Milk Supply, and it's all about trying to identify the cause of a low milk supply, and then if we can identify the cause, what might we be able to do about it? And
And that'll be
so
in the spring
think
sometime,
about
is that
that.
right? Spring of
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah, that's going to be in fall of 2026. And then Nancy and I are going to be doing a new book group, Working in Breastfeeding Made Simple,
Right.
this
Right.
winter. Hopefully January, February. That's going to be 4 sessions. So we not only do we have our flagship course and then our other foundational courses, we always are thinking of new things, new ideas and new things. Because again, we love lactation and we love helping to teach about lactation. So there's always new ideas brewing. All right, and then our podcast. Let's talk about that again. You're going to be seeing soon. This says 98, but we're going to have 99 and 100 there. And yeah, this I had. I was very lucky. I had an intern. Her name was Barb Demsk, and she was really into podcasts. And she was like, Barbara, let's do a podcast. And I was like, sure, let's do a podcast. And so
This was
again, this
back
is our
in
100th one.
2015.
Yeah, it was in 2015. So 10 years, 100 podcasts, 10 a year. It sounds like an adequate amount, but I'm hoping to do a few more. And lately I've been having a lot of fun talking to some of the founders in our field, and releasing those podcasts. I think it's important for us to know who are some of the people who have really helped get
Hmm.
this profession started and that have really helped sustain it through all these years. So wanting to honor those people and also just kind of capture some of their history.
Yeah, we're recording this now in August of 2025. So just to give, so you are now, this is your 10th year of doing
Yeah.
podcasts. It's quite
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah. And so again, things have grown. We have been growing. And yeah, a lot of different ideas. And Nancy, you have been excited recently about our YouTube channel.
Yes, yes. I think there's a lot of potential there. So I'm hopeful to get that growing and have a lot of really great free content on there.
Mhm.
Um, so keep an eye out on that.
Yeah. And so we'll be adding that to our resources once we have it a little more established, a little more content on there. So yeah, your strengths, my strengths.
Mhm.
Again, a lovely team, Nancy.
A match made in heaven, Barbara.
A match made in heaven. Well, again, Nancy, congratulations on 3 years.
Yeah, and congratulations to you. It's been great.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening to All Things Breastfeeding. 100. We'll be releasing 101 soon, so keep your ears open for that. You can listen to All Things Breastfeeding on any of your favorite podcast listening devices. And if you're enjoying our podcast, please leave us a review so that it can move up and other people can find us. And again, thanks, Nancy, for joining us
You're
today.
welcome. You're welcome, Barbara. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, happy birthday.